How to obnoxiously drink coffee.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, you guys.
Happy Thursday, and I want you to do one thing right now. I want you to put your arms out in front of you. Arms out in front. And I want you to put one hand on your opposite shoulder. Then, are you doing it? I'm serious. Okay, start over. Arms out in front. If you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel. This is dangerous. Hands out in front. Right hand on your left shoulder. Left hand on your right shoulder. Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. I'm just kidding. Kidding. Gotcha. Okay, now squeeze it around and give yourself a big fat hug. And love yourself. And do a little of this.
I thought that you were going to have them do the
Macarena.
Do the hey Macarena.
Love yourself today. Tomorrow you can worry about tomorrow. Today we love ourselves today.
Yes.
And we start with a hug.
Today we're going to be talking about how to maneuver around and improve your relationships.
Fantastic.
So, for one, if you're new to this community or this show, welcome. Please drop a comment and tell us where you're from, where you're representing. If you've been watching us for quite some time now, welcome. Still, drop a comment and tell us where you're from and where you're representing. But, relationship conversations. This is something that we're really passionate about because for a few reasons. For one, life is all about the human connection. I mean, whatever it is that we want in life always comes back to something to do with a connection with other humans.
Communication. Even if it's communication with yourself.
Yeah, so the human connection is the most powerful force in my opinion, and everything by the end of the day rises and falls on leadership. So if we don't learn how to communicate well with ourselves, if we're not conscious about our thoughts, about our words, and then we present that upon another entity, which is another human being, then if things are good, then they're going to be even better. But if things have an area of opportunity, then you're either going to struggle to rise above, or you're going to struggle to evolve apart. So this is about creating quality relationships. And the most important thing to understand is that in order for you to improve any kind of relationship, whether it is, with your coworkers, whether it is if you play on any kind of team with your teammates, whether it's with your significant other, maybe your parents, your siblings or your kids, whatever, it all starts and it all ends with you. And though two parties may be involved, we have to take full ownership of everything. And, this is why we have these conversations. And today, I feel like today is actually like almost a continuation from yesterday. Today we're going to be talking about finding your voice within a relationship.
And how to ask for what you want, which sounds like it would be simple. But it's not always.
Yeah. But think about it. If we just said, it all starts and it all ends with you, if people struggle to communicate whatever it is they want to their significant other, chances are is that they probably don't know what they want themselves. Or to what degree do they actually want it? Because here's the thing, in order for another party to reciprocate to whatever it is that you want, they have to believe that you want it. Especially depending on how long they've known you for, because we're humans and we all have patterns. So if you say you want to accomplish X, but your patterns have been showing Y, how are you going to be able to get the kind of support that you're looking for if your patterns have been different? Okay, so this is about getting your significant other or, you know, any party that you're involved with on board with regards to whatever it is that you want. But, you know, the most important thing to understand that when it comes to whatever your needs, your goals, and your desires are, you have to be very clear about it yourself first. And I think that's where, for most people, the issue stems, is that they don't actually know what they want. So then they say things, but then in order for another person to believe it, people will believe what you want through action, not through words. And if you haven't showed up for it, then how is that person going to be convinced that that's what you want? So like, I want to use the metaphor with weight loss. From my coaching experience, I believe, and this is not like you guys, this is just society in general. I believe that if you're in this community, it's very much different, but I believe that most people on planet Earth live, you know, on this I wanna lose weight land. But on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was to ask them, how ready, able, and willing are you to make all the sacrifices necessary in order to lose weight? Most people are going to be like, well, it depends. If this is your answer, it depends, then you don't want to lose weight. You live in it would be nice land. Now, as a coach, I know what that means, but for somebody else, let's say a significant other, how the heck are they going to believe you? If your patterns have shown differently and if your actions haven't been aligned with your words. So the question now is, how do you get your partner to be on board? Because here's the thing, something that we always say is that, you know, like you're a byproduct of your environment. So let's say if you're now at a point in your life where on a scale of 1 to 10, you're at a 10 with regards to weight loss, but you know, your significant other like doesn't really care much, then how are you going to be able to continue to pursue whatever your goals and dreams are? And how are you going to be able to optimize your environment if your partner is not fully on board with that? Okay, I feel like you've got lots of golden nuggets. So take the wheel.
You see me writing? My paper's on fire.
Yeah.
Before I go into this, I agree with you 100%. And I just find myself asking the question, my favorite question of all time, why? But before, I want to say hi to you guys because I feel like it's been a while since we've sang our song. Can we sing a song?
Yeah.
Good morning, Liz, Crystal, Daisy, Fran. Am I singing the song by myself?
No.
Fran, Joni, Melanie, Jillian, Priscilla, Adrian, Denise, Pamela, Tracy, Daniela, Jenna, Taylor, Tawny, Jennifer, Raina, Jill. Oh, we already said Jillian. Teresa, Christine, Jeanette. It has been a minute.
Jeanette's been on all week. It's great to see you, Jeanette.
Wow, why didn't I see her name?
Yeah.
Good morning, Jeanette.
Yesterday she said something about good morning, Fit Fam.
You know what, you guys, if you don't know Jeanette, She has been in this community since like
She's
almost
an OG.
since like almost nobody was watching Espresso.
Yeah, she was in the first 10 for sure.
Yes. And you ask people where they're from, so I think it's only fair we acknowledge.
Yes.
Of course, we've got some Texas in the house, some Indiana, New York,
Beast Coast.
We've got some Ohio, of course, for some reason. We've got Ohio everywhere in this community. We got NorCal.
Not to be confused
Iowa.
with SoCal.
Yeah. If we didn't say your name, it's not because we don't love you. It's just because you might get annoyed that we're still singing the song forever. Okay, awesome.
I will say though, good morning, Carrie Crabtree and Daisy.
Oakland,
your phone is doing this thing again where you logged on 100 times already.
We could just sing Daisy, 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 but I think
Simone from the UK. All
Colorado,
right.
that's
Sarah
awesome.
from Colorado. Love it. Minnesota. Look at you guys dropping them comments. Love it, love it, love it.
So, okay, back to what you were talking about. You're talking about like, a lot of people say like, oh, it would be nice, or, I want to do this or that. And then when asked like how committed, well, it depends, or, I ask myself for one, why don't we know what we want? Why don't we know what we want? I don't know if I know the answer, but I can share with you the thoughts that go through my head. And I think it's because we're so consumed with filling our schedule with busyness that we don't have any time to sit and reflect and think about who we are, what we're doing, what fulfills us, what makes us truly, genuinely happy. Because that will, I think, reveal to us what it is that we actually want. But instead, we start wanting the things that we see and the things that we read or we're fed or we're shown through the interwebs. Oh, that would be nice. You see a transformation. Somebody lost 50 pounds doing keto. Oh, I want to lose weight. But then it just goes away. Like the thought goes there and you're like, okay. And then nothing is done. Do you really want that? Or I would argue probably it's something else that you want that you think losing weight's going to get you. Oof. You don't actually, you got to dig in, guys. You got to dig in. I want to lose weight. Okay, cool. Why? What's the point? If you don't know, you won't go. I just made that up. If you don't know, you won't go. I want to lose weight is not heavy enough. No pun intended, actually. Legit. No pun intended. But losing weight is not a substantial enough thing to take action. If, you say, I feel embarrassed to get undressed in front of my significant other because I'm not confident in the way I look. Therefore, we don't have sex. Therefore, our relationship feels a little bit distant. Therefore, I feel like we're on the verge of a divorce. Now you have a reason to lose weight. Nobody digs.
Also, so there's two things to it, and you're 100% right. And one of the very beautiful things that Oprah says, everything that comes out of her mouth is beautiful, is one of the most powerful things that you can ever give yourself is time, taking time to do what matters. So people don't do that because they're wrapped up in their busyness, and you're 100% right. But I think the reason why people are, even if they do take the time to figure out what it is that they actually want, they're scared to confront the pain. And that's when a growth happens to the courageous ones who are willing to lean into what currently hurts for the sake of healing that. Mm-hmm. But because in the instant moment, it feels shitty, it feels painful, people are scared by that. Because remember this, you guys, we're evolutionary beings, okay? Like, evolution has made us great at doing two things: survival and reproduction. So when we experience pain in the human brain that has evolved over like millions of years, to the brain, because our brain is primal, to the brain that means this is a threat, stay away from it.
Danger.
To the evolutionary brain. But to the conscious brain, that is not the case. Because on the other side of pain, there is growth. Only if you're willing to be honest, patient, and willing to get through to it. And that's why one of the things that we always say, especially with the way that we teach weight loss and why it's different, is because weight loss is not so much about the weight that you lose, but who you become in the process. So when people see that before and after, you know, their subconscious, your brain, your subconscious and your conscious brain, like, keep talking to one another. The more critical thinker you are, the more you let your conscious mind speak. The less of a critical thinker you are, the more you're letting your evolutionary mind, just go to your default mode, which is what has helped us to evolve over millions of years. So in order to get into that conscious train of thought, you really have to train yourself.
And you have to give yourself time.
Yes. Yes.
This whole time I'm thinking, and this is completely off topic, but I'm just thinking about how amazing you are. Like, people don't realize English is her second language. And for those of you who have been around long enough, like, you know that because you've heard us say it before. But like, I'm impressed right now about how well you're able to form thoughts in a language that didn't even originate within you in the beginning. So that's a side note. I'm amazed.
Fun fact, when I was learning English in grade school in Israel, because that's where I'm from, English was literally the hardest subject for me, you guys. In third grade, I severely failed my test. I got 20%. I was so embarrassed about it. I played a game with my mom, and I'm like, "Hey, Mom, I want to see how good you can write a signature with your eyes closed." I played this game with her because I was so embarrassed, because I was like, I always strive to be a good student. And it's like, in third grade, if you severely fail, you've got issues, okay? So I'm fully aware that I've got
You colored outside the lines.
Like, yeah, I couldn't pronounce, like, even the word nice. I thought it was Nick. English was so hard for me, you guys. But that goes...
I still struggle.
Practice, though. I put myself in an environment where it's like, do or die.
I still struggle, and I was born in it. So, pretty sure there's been emails that have gone out that have misspelled words. I am very aware of this, and that's okay. But aside from that, there were 1,000 great thoughts. I'm sure they were great thoughts that went through my mind that I forgot. They've left me because of that. And that's okay, because everything happens on purpose. But I do know you're talking about suffering, creating like a regrowth or growth, right? And literally I'm here like picking at my skin, which I have a terrible habit of. And I was like, when you pick a scab, what happens? It doesn't feel good, right? Like, let's say you fall down off your bike, boom, ow, and you get some scrapes. What happens with your skin? It regrows. But it doesn't. There's no regrowing if there's no scab. Like, if there's no owie. If there's no ouchie, there's no growy. Capiche? That was one thought. Then I asked myself another why. Okay, another why is, why don't we take action when we say that we want something? You guys, these are questions that literally just go through my mind, so I do my best to analyze and answer however, like, my most greatest thoughts that I can think of at the moment.
When Erin and I are like doing like life things, like washing the dishes or just like setting the coffee, we have like deep conversations with ourselves, like just so you know. And then when the other person enters the room, it's like, you know what conversation I just had with myself?
I was just thinking, and it's great. Or one person will say like, "What are you thinking?" Because you can like see it.
Yeah,
what
like
you
you at
thinking?
dinner
What are you
yesterday. You got into like a deep train of thought.
Oh, we were eating dinner. I just went like completely silent, and you're like, "What are you thinking?" What did I even say?
I don't remember.
Anyways, yeah, okay, so back to the question, why don't we take action when we say that we want something? And somehow, I understand this is a relationship conversation, so somehow we are going to finesse and maneuver all of this conversation into how it applies to a relationship for the sake
about
of
talking
today's
about
conversation.
what it is that you want to accomplish or want in general.
I mean, yeah. So when I think a lot of us can relate to the weight loss thing or the fat loss thing or body transformation to one degree or another. That's why most of you found this community in the first place. So if we say, oh my gosh, I want to lose 20 pounds. Why don't we actually take action? Like, why do we sit on things for so long? I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to get my oil changed in my car. I need to lose weight. I need to go to the dentist. I need to, but we like put things off. We put them off. We put them off. We put them off. We put them off. And then like a year later, like, oh, I've been saying that for a year. And I've even been guilty of this. Either, ultimately, it's not a high enough priority because when it is, you get shit done. But aside from that, a couple of things came to my mind. Like, what helps us to take action? What helps us to take action is, for one, a commitment to the thing that you want. For two, clarity in the why you want it. And then structure, the how to. So sometimes we just stop in our tracks and we don't do anything because either the last thing we tried failed, so we're not sure what else to do, or if it's gonna work. We don't know. We just completely are missing the information that we need to be successful in something, and we don't go outside of our comfort zone to find the right information. So we just don't do anything. But I think that if we can find those things like the why, for one, how committed am I to this thing? How important is it to me? And the way that you find that out is by discovering why you actually want it. Not just the thing that you want, but the reason in which will drive you day in and day out that you will never forget about that you want that thing. And then creating some structure around the how to and the what to each and every day so that you can make progress. Now, if we're going to like relationship, I want to like get very specific into relationship because I know I've been in relationships where I'm afraid to ask for what I want, or there's some kind of hesitation to say what I desire.
Can you guys relate to this? If you can you please drop a yes in the comments? And if no, please drop a no.
The whatever it is, if it's a fear or not, but for some reason, not feeling right about asking for what you want or expressing what it is that you want or need in a relationship. Now let's talk specifically a romantic relationship. I no longer am afraid because I know I'm in a safe space where there's going to be no judgment, no shame, just a conversation. You know, if I say, this is actually funny. One thing I really want to do is learn how to like DJ. And when we are at a point in our career where it feels like not irresponsible to leave my duties, I am going to learn how to DJ. And I'm going to be a fucking boss at it.
Yes, you will.
I love music. I have great rhythm. You guys seen the Burn Zone? Come on, them dance skills. This girl got swag. So anyways, I'm not afraid to say I want to invest in like a table. I don't even know what you call it, turntable, a thing, or whatever it's called. I'll learn the terminology when the time comes. But I think it's so cool, and the fact that you're like get to multitask and do a bunch of shit all at the same time, and it's like endless possibilities.
And it's stimulating AF. It's like,
and I love dancing and I love singing, and so I think it would be awesome. Okay, anyways, so whoever wants to buy me a turntable, my birthday's actually on Saturday, so send me an email and I'll give you our shipping address. Okay, perfect. So then, if that's even what it's called. All right, so I'm not afraid because I feel like I'm in a safe space to do so. Okay, so for one, like if you're feeling like when you ask for something, the receiving end is not going to be
reciprocating?
Yeah, it's not going to be like received well, or you have a fear of it not being received well, then there's a conversation that needs to be had to knock that roadblock out of the way. Because you got to feel comfortable to be able to express yourself. So the first conversation is, I'm not sure why I'm having this feeling, but I just want to have a conversation with you about, I wanted to express something and I felt like I had a fear and I'm not sure what it is about. So I just wanted to talk with you. Maybe it's completely within me, or maybe it's, a situation that we had before when I expressed I wanted something and felt like there was, a bit of resistance. All I want to do is talk about it so we feel free to share with one another the things that we need in this relationship. Like that would be conversation number one. Then that wall is broken down where now you feel like, okay, cool, like I can go to this person. Then it's the fear within ourselves and whatever story we're making up that says this person is going to think this about me if I express this, which you don't know because that's a story. The other piece of it is like fear of rejection, I think. Like fear of somebody rejecting something that seems important to you and then just writing it off like they don't give a shit. When you're in a romantic relationship with somebody, that really matters. When it's like an acquaintance or a coworker that you never hang out with or whatever, it's like, okay, it doesn't matter as much. But when you're in a romantic relationship, spending every day with this person, of course you don't want to be rejected or feel rejected by them. So you may hesitate if you feel like expressing what you want is going to be rejected or resisted. So, I think there's so much power. And this is why a lot of our programs are amazing, because it's not about the weight you lose, but who you become in the process. And what happens in the process is this level of confidence. If you guys have been in any of our programs and you're watching this right now, and your confidence has increased to the point of where you took some kind of action that you never thought you would have the confidence or the guts or the balls to do, like ask for a promotion or a raise or have a tough conversation with your significant other or approach somebody or start dating again or whatever it was, like you had this extra courage and confidence because of the programs. You guys, that's the point of the programs. Not to help you lose weight. We know it's going to do that, and we know that that is, for one, going to make you healthier, going to increase the quality of your life, and going to increase your confidence. Yes, so it is important that you feel good about you in whatever body you are residing in, and what the shape and the feel and the look of that body is. It's a fact. We're visual creatures, and so it makes a difference. Plus, also, just simply treating yourself with respect does so much for the mind. And when you're treating yourself with respect, you're eating better, you're moving consistently, you're wanting to do good for yourself. And so you just simply feel better. That's all. So, it's also, where was I going with that? Oh, within you, like having the confidence and the power to say boldly and courageously, I want this, and detaching yourself from a response.
Oof. Yes.
Detach yourself from whatever the response may be. Knowing you stepped into your true self, you stepped into your true zone, and that took courage, and you should be proud of that. And you should detach from whatever the response is on the other end, because that has nothing to do with you.
Yep. Yep. Rule number 2, don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But because you're involved with that person,
Yeah.
indirectly, you feel like it does, which makes sense. However, most people really just don't apply the rule number 2, which is don't take it personally. Also, I want to add one more thing. Most people don't know how to set goals. Goal setting is an art and a science in and of itself. Most people have never even set goals. If you're in this community, you have probably some experience, especially if you've been in one of our programs. But it's like if people don't set their own personal goals, which are called me goals, what about we goals?
I goals, you goals,
We
goals. We goals. Sounds like a bird. A weagle.
So, when you're
Dr.
clear, on
This is awesome.
your short-term and long-term goals, ultimately with your partner, then now it's really easy to speak up about what you want, because the decision or the communication becomes a logical one, not an emotional one.
This is amazing. Apply for a job. Okay, so Darcy moved out of the house I shared with an ex for 3 years.
That's awesome, dude. Congrats.
Gosh. Okay, this is why we do what we do, guys. So I have to read these because this fills my fucking soul so hard. June Ellen bought a Tesla and a big house due to a confidence gain.
Amen, baby.
You guys, it's not about the weight. It's about the shit you believe you're capable of because of the confidence you gain.
Hi, Heather.
And it has nothing to do with the weight. It has to do with how you followed through with your promises to yourself. Mm-hmm. That's it. Jumping in between my virtual... Oh, got it. That one's not a win. But hi, Heather. Applied for a different job after being at my current job for 10 years. You guys, you're not stuck where you're at. You're not stuck, but you have to get uncomfortable and take action. Moved back in with my parents to give my girlfriend time to deal with some personal things. Okay, that could be a difficult thing to do. Goal setting's been instrumental for me, something I never did before. I want to share a story with you guys. Hubby and I got a vision board together.
That's awesome! Shout out
love it.
to Adrian Harris.
You guys, that brings you in closer together because now you have a mutual understanding of what it is that you want together, individually. It's all good. You guys, when we were, I want to say recruiting, when we were recruiting for the Raw Transformation, no, this last round though, when people were registering for the Raw Transformation, I was asking people like, that I saw showing up in the Transformation Kickstarter Challenge and things like that, like, are you doing it? And, a lot of people would say, no, I'm not going to do this round because of finances or time or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, what was your goal going into the Transformation Kickstarter Challenge? And the answers that I got were not goal. They're so vague. So I'm like, it doesn't seem like you know what you want. Maybe internally, like deep down in there, it's there. You're like, I want something, but you don't actually know how to express it. And if you don't know how to express it outwardly, then you don't fully understand it. Because if you can't verbalize it, then you probably don't understand it. You might, but most of the time what we find when it comes to like people's goals is it's so vague. I want to be healthier. What does that look like? What does it look like to be healthier? I want to be more fit and more toned. But what does that look like? How much weight does that mean you need to lose? Or how much muscle does that mean you need to gain? Or, what is it that you want? What's the outcome you want? What is the reason you want that outcome? Dive into this. And the entire first week of the Raw Transformation, we go through goal setting. An entire week, because that is such a struggle. But that is the foundational number one thing that you need to do in order to take the next steps. It's the first stone you have to lay. In the hot lava game, you play the hot lava game where your mom gets mad at you because you jumped from the couch to the chair to the lazy boy to the beanbag chair to the fucking video game system that's on the floor, which you shouldn't be stepping on, but it's hot lava, so you got to step on something. Not like I'm speaking from experience, but take the cushions off the couch and you throw them so you can jump over there. Anyways, I'm just guessing. But it's like if you don't lay the first stone, you can't go any further. You stop right there. You just stop in your tracks. Boom, you got to take the next couch cushion off and throw it down so they can jump on. You're going to die of hot lava. You guys are amazing. I knew you guys would understand the hot lava game. Y'all played it, don't lie. You guys, how do I run out of words when Sarit's gone? I saw a comment in here. That deep feeling that when things are not right, but what you want.
I wanted to share with you guys.
Yes.
Erin's definitely going to be the wild mom, and I'm going to be the Jewish mom. And you know what she tells me? She's like, when we have kids, this is what I want to do. We're going to have a slide from the top floor to the bottom floor, and every day we're going to slide down from our office down to the living room.
From our bedroom to the kitchen. Or, no, to the living room. Not the kitchen. I don't want to slide into the kitchen. We are going to have a slide in our house. Someday we're going to build our dream house. There's going to be a fucking slide in the house. Why? Because life is too short to not have fun like that. Who has a slide in their house? But who would want to have a slide in their house? Maybe even it will be a twirly one.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be awesome. Put the kid right on my lap.
Put Boogie in there.
And put the kid right on my lap and say, put your hands up, because we're free. And we're going to, boo! And then I say, okay, there's only one rule of this slide. It's not that you can't walk up it from the bottom, because I did that shit as a kid too. It's not that it's not that you can't jump off of it. You might break something, so I wouldn't advise it, but I did that shit as a kid too. You break shit, you learn. I would prefer that you don't, but I'm not going to tell you not to, because that's what kids do. The one rule is when we slide down the slide, you have to go, whee! That's it.
I love it.
I'm going to be such a good mom. I don't know. I barely know how to take care of I know how to take care of myself. I'm not going to say that. But I think that's one of those things where it's like, you don't know how to parent until you're a parent. And even then, do you really know?
Well, just like with anything real in life, you get most of the learning through what's called deployment, real life experience.
Yep.
You know, it's not just about what you know. It's about how much do you apply. Mm-hmm. So going back to we goals, shout out to, I forgot who said that, but great stuff. You know, anything that you want, if you really, really want it, is possible. But you have to do whatever it takes in order to achieve it. The problem is that most people, because they don't take enough time for themselves to know what it is that they really want, they live in a it would be nice land. That's average living. You guys are not here for that. You guys are here for greatness. You guys here, like, you expect greatness out of yourself and out of your life. So congratulations. But, you know, aside from that, it's also willing to speak up and act upon whatever it is that you believe in. Like, again, going back to the weight loss thing. If you wanna, let's say you've been married for 2 years and you've noticed that, things just started happening and you started slipping and you're no longer comfortable with yourself. And now you wanna start losing weight. And this is something that's really important to you because, it affects the quality of your marriage, the quality of your lifestyle. You're very clear. You're at a 10. You're willing to do whatever it takes in order to do the right thing. Then, it requires you having a conversation first with yourself about what it is that you're committed to doing. And then, if you have a significant other, then it's relaying the message. And, getting their opinions, their encouragement, and their accountability as well, involving them in the process. I truly believe, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I would say that we are relationship goals because we are so clear on our personal goals and we do everything that we can to turn our me goals into we goals. So when it comes time to wanting to be a DJ, I'm like, go.
Yeah, it's more support. It's not that you have to have that goal too.
Right.
It's that you understand the amount of fulfillment or happiness or joy that thing is gonna bring me. You're like, of course, why wouldn't I want that?
Or like when we lived in California and you went surfing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go surfing with her.
One time she did. I tipped her over.
Yeah, I went with her one time. I got us a lesson and I found out that I just didn't bond with it. But she's like, baby, I really like it. I really want to do it. I'm like, okay, then what do you need from me? She's like, you're a blessing to get a surfboard and, to go for a couple hours on Saturday. I'm like, okay.
It's an investment.
And I'm like, okay, well, put it in your calendar. Put it in your calendar to make sure that you're gonna go surfing.
The encouragement.
Encouragement and accountability.
Yeah.
And she did every single Saturday.
I'm distracted. They're talking about
DJE.
Spice Girl songs and DJ. Guys, I'm gonna put a Spice Girl song.
DJE sounds good.
DJE Money. I'm gonna put a Spice Girl song.
DJE Money.
I'm gonna put a Spice Girl song into a mix, and it's gonna be awesome. Now here's a story from A to Z. You want to get with me? You gotta listen carefully.
And then you're gonna speed it up, and then you're gonna
And then I'm gonna fade it out with that when it sounds like it's underwater.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna. It's gonna be so good. You have no idea. Make you a mixtape, boo. I'm gonna make you a mixtape.
So cute. Make it a priority to know what you want out of your own life so that you can stand for it. You can't get anybody on board with your dreams and goals if you don't know what you want and if you're not willing to do whatever it takes in order to get there. When you have shown seriousness that you are willing to do whatever it takes, that's when you're gonna get support from other people who love you. Now, if they're skeptical at first, know that it has nothing to do with you. I mean, it could be based on previous patterns.
I was gonna say
it could be based on previous patterns, actually.
Like what they've experienced from your behavior so far. If you're a yo-yoer, they're gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna just gain it back. Okay, cool. So they might not say it because they want to be supportive, but subconsciously that's going through their head. So you have to prove your consistency.
Right. So if they're initially just questioning you, know that it could be, for one, based on your previous patterns, which is completely legitimate, or two, because you're just not very clear about whatever it is that you want. And that's why communication and taking the time to work on yourself is something that's really, really important. Because how are you going to share that message with somebody else if you don't know what your message is? So you have to be the leader of your life, and by default, if you do it right, you're going to bring the other person with you. Or if they are just stuck in their own way, then you're going to evolve apart. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think it's normal for it to take a little while for the other person to come around, especially if there's been like previous patterns that have been had like over the years. Then there's a certain expectation that they have, and I think that is completely legitimate. But you know, that doesn't mean that has to be forever reality. Because if you can show your consistency in something and you can prove through your actions, then eventually they will come around. There's been people in this community, significant others have been extremely skeptical. They might be watching right now. Significant others have been extremely skeptical to the point of saying, like, you know, teasing or poking fun at, like, oh, are you going to go hang out with your cult or your whatever, like, you know, kind of teasing this whole community of, like, you know, different thing. Okay, yeah, we'll see, whatever, go hang out with your cult.
And there have been both sides, like Raina's sweetheart right now. She's on.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. That's support right there. You're immersing yourself for your wife.
But because her wife has shown the fuck up.
Yes,
like,
yes,
okay,
her
well,
actions.
Okay, well,
Her actions.
I suppose because this seems like, based off of your actions, this is a real thing for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on board. So it's okay if they're not like immediately, okay, I'm in, cool. They might be, and that's awesome. That's a huge blessing. But you guys can get to that point where you trust your significant other. When they say something, you believe it. When you say something, they believe it. Carrie Ann, my wife asked what time espresso was this morning. Same time, baby.
Let's go.
I can literally think of at least 4 couples just off the top of my mind that watch this together, which is amazing. Or both at least watch.
If you and your significant other watches this together, can you drop it in the comments? We'd love to give you a shout out.
Or maybe not at the same time, but like just both watch.
Yeah.
Yesterday we got a new inner circle client who her and her wife also watch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's great.
But going back to my story, there have been couples who have been in that situation where they've joined. I don't know why you invested so much, blah, blah, paid so much money, go hang out with your cult. Yeah, okay, we'll see. But then they see the change that's happening in the consistency of you showing up. And they're like, oh shit, well maybe there's something good here. Maybe there's something for me to learn here. You know, and you know what? Fuck, if we're a cult, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part. We put the cult in culture. Anyways, I don't know. But, you know, I think that when you are so connected, like when you're so connected with your people and you feel each other on such a deep level, it's easy for somebody to think that or say that, or even if it's a joke, it's like, yeah, man, and whatever you want to call it, I don't care. Call it whatever you want. This fills my soul so much to get to chat with you guys and like see how you guys are growing and just becoming. It's incredible. So call it whatever you want to call it. If it's changing lives, I'm all about it. I don't care what name you give it.
What did Raina say? Oh, go down. When she's not here, I'm telling her all about it through Messenger.
That's awesome.
You guys are awesome. Way to be supportive. Actions speak louder than words. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a client, and we're literally talking about the same thing. You know, before she joined our inner circle program, she used to literally like yo-yo for years. And because her actions have been so consistent for over 6 months, now everybody in her life is supporting her. And like when they go out to dinner, they ask her, hey, is this place like in alignment with your goals? Like before, that never used to be the case because she wasn't very clear on what she wanted and what she needed. So she let other people dictate how she needs to live. But when you get clarity with regards to what it is that you want, why is it that you want it, you start building consistency, then your actions now show people that you're up to doing things. You're like, I'm ready to let go of that shell.
When somebody can see that you are just becoming happier and more confident, they want a piece. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? And that's the best inspiration that you could give anybody without even opening your mouth. Just show them. My girlfriend told me yesterday while we were watching that she needs to start watching every day for inspirational nuggets. I love that, Darcy. My husband finally sees, and I started watching you guys again this week, and he's like, oh, you're watching your girls again. That's amazing.
I was just gonna say, Brittany Burns, I haven't seen you in a minute. That's awesome.
You guys are amazing. I'm so grateful that we have something that you see as valuable to apply into your own lives, you know, and we're gonna keep delivering the best that we know how. And culture, that's what we have.
Shall we wrap this up?
Yep.
All right, you guys. So tomorrow is Friday. Friday is guest interview day. Tomorrow we have a very special guest who's gonna be just dropping golden nuggets left, right, and center. I know that I am personally going to learn so much, and I'm so stoked about it. Dr. Caroline Leaf, author of the new book that's about to get released, Your Mental Mess. It recently became available.
Cleaning up your mental mess.
Yes, it is already a best-selling book, and we are going to be talking to her about all of the book and all of her secrets of the 5 steps that have to do with cleaning up your mental mess. You guys, your thoughts become your words become your actions dictate your legacy. It all starts here and it all ends here by the end of the day. So, Dr. Caroline Leaf tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be dropping the link later on this afternoon. So just go ahead and tune into that tomorrow morning. And, you know, once again, you guys, you know, we do this show simply out of, you know, pure love for you guys and for engaging with you guys. Because we know that now more than ever, this is what the world needs. And we are going to speak about what we believe in and hope to empower, inspire, and motivate you in the process. If you found any golden nugget or any value from today's conversation, do us a small favor and please just help us to share and spread the love so that more people can take the time to figure out whatever it is that they want in their life, so that they can go ahead and pursue their most boldest, baddest, raddest life that they truly believe that they're capable of pursuing. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate you so much, and we're very grateful for your willingness to share your love and your support. And we're going to do everything that we can to provide for you as much value as possible. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., Dr. Caroline Leaf. And we will see you guys there. Take care, you guys.
Bye.
Happy Thursday.